Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Gilda Evans, bringing you the Autism Resource Podcast. This podcast and the ARP website are your one-stop knowledge and resource space for autism and much more. I'm pleased to have Jessica Patay join me as my guest today. Jessica is the founder and executive director of We Are Brave Together, a nonprofit organization that supports caregiving moms with children of all types of disabilities and neurodiverse diagnoses. In addition, she is a sought-out speaker, podcast guest, writer, and retreat coordinator, fundraiser, mother of three, social influencer, and a champion of self-care practices and their positive effect on motherhood. Welcome, Jessica, and thanks so much for taking the time to join me and discuss the work you do today.
Hi, Gilda. Thank you so much for having me.
To start off with, tell me a little bit about your personal story.
Sure. I've been married to Chris for almost 28 years, and we have three grown-ish kids. Luke, who is 24 and recently finished at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, and Ryan, who I say is the one that made me a caregiver, is 21, and he is about to exit the school district. And he has Prader-Willi syndrome and autism. He was diagnosed at 5 weeks of age with PWS after us spending a month in the hospital not knowing why he was so low muscle tone and so quiet. He didn't cry. He didn't cry for food. He could not suck. He could hardly move. And so we ran all kinds of tests trying to figure this out. And this was all before smartphones. So I did not look up anything while I was living at the hospital with him, but I'm grateful that we got an early diagnosis. And then we have a daughter, Kate, who is 19, out of high school, working and trying to figure out what she wants to do or if she's going to go to college.
That's certainly the time of life to do all those things. Sounds like you have a beautiful family. As an author, your latest book is an anthology. Tell me, why did you create an anthology instead of writing a book of your own?
That is a great question. I definitely want to. I've always wanted to do a book of my own, and someday I will. I have an idea of where I'd like to go with it. But I just wanted to give my fellow caregiving moms a voice. I've been able to use my voice for over 10 years. I used to blog way back when blogs were a thing, and I've been very active on social media. And then I started We Are Brave Together. And so I wanted other moms to tell their caregiving stories. And I think for what the purpose of the book was, one, to validate all parent caregivers, and two, to raise awareness about extreme and extraordinary caregiving. I feel it's more powerful when you hear 22 stories than when you just hear mine. For example, this is my own theory, but if I'm the friend of someone and I'm the only friend in their life who has a child with a disability, I think it's easy to minimize or downplay how extreme the circumstances are and what my caretaking life is all about. But if that person suddenly heard 22 moms share their stories, it might be overwhelming, but it also might be an aha moment. Wow, this is exhausting. This is extreme. These moms live with such a vigilance. I had no idea. And so I just felt like the collective coming together would be more powerful and also to shout the worth of caregivers and caregiving. And I think with a group with many stories, it can have a greater impact.
Okay, talking about impact, and by the way, what is the title of your book? But my question also being, talking about impact, you answered it, but what more is the overall general impact that you're hoping this book will have?
One, I think it will be comforting to fellow caregivers, whether you're a mom or dad, even though it's all moms sharing their stories. I think that what we've been told is like a support group or a retreat in a book. It's access to community through a book. By reading these stories, you feel less alone because all the writers are saying real things. They're very honest, very transparent, very vulnerable about the highs and the lows and the good, the bad, the ugly about caregiving. And you will see yourself in these stories and feel less alone. And that is important because nobody wants to feel alone, whatever they're going through.
So true. And the title of the book?
Becoming Brave Together: Heroic, Extraordinary Caregiving Stories from Mothers Hidden in Plain Sight.
All right, that says it all right there.
It's a mouthful. I might think twice about the next book having a subtitle so long.
All right, now tell us a little bit about your nonprofit, We Are Brave Together.
Oh, thank you for that. We started in 2017. Our mission is to preserve and protect the mental health of caregiving moms. And we started off with offering support groups in person. And then we offered one retreat per year, one weekend retreat, low cost, trying to give moms a weekend off and a time to gather with other moms who get it and to get some mental health education and resources and inspiration. And it's grown to having support groups, which we call connection circles now, across the United States. We have about 30 plus leaders. Some connection circles are virtual and some are in person, some are topical, some are by geography. And then we've also expanded our retreats to offer 9 per year, including 2 for our Connection Circle leaders. And then we added a podcast 5 years ago. And then we released our first book last year, and we are getting ready to start book number 2.
That all sounds amazing and very exciting. And at this point, I just want to open it up to a free flow and give you the opportunity to mention anything that I haven't asked, that we haven't discussed, that you'd like to mention. And also, I always like to ask, what is the most important takeaway or two that you'd like our listeners to glean from our conversation?
One, that you are not alone in your altered parenting journey. So if you're a parent, a mom, and dad listening out there, you are not alone. You are not meant to do this alone. Let us help you. Let us connect you with others, either online or in your area. It's so important to have community, whether that's a few people or 10 other parents that become a part of your regular world weekly, monthly, annually. It's important to have other people in your life who have similar circumstances so that you can support each other, learn from each other, help each other navigate, and feel a sense of belonging, feel a part of the caregiver community.
All right, I do have another question. You talked about your beautiful family and you talked about the book and your nonprofit and the work that you're doing. Tell me a little bit about the bridge that took you from that moment of here I am with my family, with my son who has certain challenges, and I think I'm going to start a nonprofit. I think I'm going to do this. Uh, Tell me a little bit about how that happened, because that's always an interesting part of the story, I think.
This is something that I keep saying as I reflect and talk about the book, and then you get into the why and how and all of that and the origin story of We Are Brave Together.
Mhm.
The most powerful shift that happened was when I went from why me, why us, why Ryan, why our family to what now? What can I do with this? What am I meant to do with this? What am I called to do with this? This cannot be just a crazy diagnosis and a difficult parenting journey with a beautiful human being for nothing. Something has to come out of this. So my hands were open to universe, God, whatever you want to say. What now? What can I do with this? How can I turn this rare disease caregiving story into something meaningful? And how can I touch others' lives?
That is that aha moment, right? I just want to personally say thank you for listening to that aha moment and paying it forward. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. And I'm not going to say that I was paralyzed by the thought of how do I start a website? How do I start a nonprofit? How am I going to get donors? How does this actually get executed, this dream? But I have had great people around me this whole time for the last almost 10 years from when we started planning. And so I'm very grateful that I've had experienced board members. I've had very wise people around me that said, you have to do this and we're here to help.
That makes all the difference, right?
It does. It does. It really buoyed me and gave me the confidence to move forward in doing something that I've never done before.
You're doing great. So please keep on going.
Thank you. I plan to.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for your time and for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. Thanks,
And
Gilda.
you're welcome back anytime. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, and other popular platforms. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you would like more information on this topic or anything else we've covered on the Autism Resource Podcast, visit us online at autismresourceproject.org/podcast. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover in the future, contact us through the website or comment on any of our social media channels. And be sure to check out our growing website often, since we are continually adding useful information and resources. I want to thank our listeners for spending part of their day with us. This is the Autism Resource Podcast, and I'm Gilda Evans, reminding you to take care of yourself and that special person in your life.